Hey everybody, this is the fourth here, and in this video I want to introduce you to another technique regarding reverb and delay, and this is the technique of using a gated reverb. So sometimes you may want your reverb tail to cut out early to create a certain effect or possibly prevent muddiness in a mix. And this is where gating your reverb can be helpful. The idea is to place a noise gate on your reverb and set it to the values you want in order to silence the tail at a certain time. Some reverbs may include a noise gate option as well, but with others you'll have to do it separately. So a fairly common sound that this technique is used with is a snare drum. And you can hear when I play this pattern, the snare has a very big reverb. And then it cuts out. So let's say I had this kick pattern as well with that snare. You can hear that it creates a pretty cool effect. So you can use it to create effect kind of like that. Alternatively, it's just helpful to prevent mudding of the mix. You can hear if I just play the snare with that reverb. You can imagine that really long tail could kind of be distracting in the mix and not really sound all that good. But at the same time, you might want a really big reverb sound like this. And this is one example of when you would want to gate your reverb. So you can see that after that reverb, I have a fruity limiter on, and the only thing the fruity limiter is doing is using the noise gate settings. And I'll be looking more at how a noise gate works in the next section of the tutorial, which is about compression and dynamic tools. So if you want to learn more about noise gates and how they work in terms of the parameters, you can definitely check that section out. But the idea is you want to set the gain reduction all the way to -infinity. By default, it's set at 0. But you want to set it to -infinity so that it cuts that completely to silence. And you want to set the threshold to determine where it cuts off. If you have a higher threshold, it will cut out more quickly. And if you have a lower threshold, it will cut out less quickly. So you can hear that using the fruity limiter with certain settings doesn't create a smooth cutout of that reverb sound. It kind of cuts out and then cuts back in, and sounds a little bit strange and not really the sound that I want. And so what I would want to do is add a little bit of a hold onto that sound. So in the fruity limiter, the ahead knob is actually how you can achieve that. So you can hear right now, it cuts out and cuts back in. But if I turn that up some, you can hear that it's a little bit different. And I just need to turn that up until it doesn't have that cutting out and cutting in sound. And so, that's pretty much it right there. And if I keep going, it will kind of hold longer. But Really, I just want to set it to a point that it smooths it out. And so you can hear right there is about good. So just keep in mind, if you are, having some trouble getting it to be a smooth cutout, just try adjusting the ahead knob here. And turn it up just to the point where it's holding long enough that you don't get that sound. And alternatively, you could always render the reverb sound to a sample and just kind of cut that sample or fade that sample out where you want to. You could also do level writing on the reverb level. So, that's essentially the idea. Hopefully that's helpful. Hopefully that gives you an idea of what gated reverb is and how you can kind of set it up, and a little bit on how you can get a nice smooth effect like this. If you feel like your reverb tails are getting in the way of other sounds, then you can use gated reverb. Otherwise, you don't have to. It's just a pretty nice technique to know about.